Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex, and these are my predictions on who will win all major awards by the end of this regular season. These awards will include MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man, Rookie of the Year, and Coach of the Year. I know that Most Improved Player is also an award given out, but honestly, those are almost impossible to predict, but I will give at least one to look out for. Each award will have 3 candidates, and I will be picking one out of those 3 to win it all. With that out of the way, let's get started. To start off, let's look at the Sixth Man of the Year race. To me, Jordan Poole of the Warriors, Cam Thomas of the Nets, and Kevin Love of the Cavaliers are players that I think could realistically win this award. They all will be on winning teams, and barring any injuries to any starters on their team, they should be coming off the bench. They are also going to be huge scoring punches off the bench, which is always a big part of the Sixth Man of the Year race. But if I had to pick a player to ultimately win this award, I would go with Poole. The Warriors will probably win the most games, and Poole will be a huge part of that. He averaged 18 points per game last season, starting most of the games, and even with him coming off the bench now that Klay is healthy, I still think he could average similar numbers because he will still play around 30 minutes a game. Jordan Poole is also just getting started in his career, and it wouldn't surprise me if he gets even better and scores around 20 points per game, similar to what Tyler Hero did last season. Cam Thomas and Kevin Love will also be on winning teams, but in my opinion, they won't be as valuable as Poole is to winning those games for their teams, and the potential of scoring isn't as high either. Next up, let's talk about the Rookie of the Year race. The 3 players that I have in this conversation are Keegan Murray of the Kings, Jaden Ivey of the Pistons, and Paolo Banchero of the Magic. Winning doesn't really matter for the Rookie of the Year race, which is good for all 3 of these guys since they will all be on lottery teams. But for me, I think Paolo will be the winner of this award, simply because he will have more opportunity to shine compared to the others. Keegan Murray has 2 borderline all-star players on his team, so I feel like that will hurt his case a little bit, and for Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham will probably be the guy with the ball in his hands most of the time. For Paolo, obviously the Magic have Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, and Wendell Carter Jr., but I think these guys won't hurt Paolo's production at all. They are all very underrated playmakers and passers for their respected positions, so I think that Paolo will be able to benefit off playing alongside them. You can say the same thing for Keegan Murray and Jaden Ivey, but in my opinion, this will hurt Keegan's case as I think the Kings might want to fight for a play-in spot, so they may lean more into a Fox and Sabonis heavy offense. And for Jaden Ivey, outside of Cade, there isn't really much playmaking on the Pistons, so most of Ivey's production will probably have to be self-made, and just based off the history of the game, guards tend to struggle a little bit in terms of efficiency, so that will probably hurt Ivey's case. For Paolo, he will be able to benefit off his teammates while still being able to get off his own shots, which is why I think he will ultimately win the Rookie of the Year. Now let's quickly discuss the Most Improved Player award. Like I said before, it's really hard to predict this award. Most of the time, the person who wins it is someone we probably wouldn't have expected to win it, but if I had to choose one person to watch out for, it would actually be RJ Barrett. He's already a decent player, averaging around 20 points per game, but if he could average maybe 4 to 5 more points and significantly increase his efficiency, he could possibly win it. Other than that, I really can't think of anyone else that would maybe win this award, so leave in the comments some players that you think we should be on the lookout for the Most Improved Player. Now let's talk about the Defensive Player of the Year. This one was actually easy for me to choose the winner, but to state the candidates first, I think Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, and Draymond Green could win it, and if I had to choose a winner, it would be Draymond Green. Before Draymond got injured last season, he was clearly the leader for the award, and the reasons for why he was the leader last season are the same reasons why here. He will be a versatile defender, leading the Warriors to one of the best defenses in the league, and ultimately one of the best teams in the league. For players like Bam, I think he'll be a close second, and I also feel like he's been on the edge of possibly winning it all, but I just think Draymond is just better than him. For Gobert, he really should be considered a little bit more, but I feel like media just won't allow him to win another one, but I think his defensive impact for the Timberwolves will be too strong to ignore. In the end, for Draymond, as long as health permits, he will get his respect, and a second Defensive Player of the Year would solidify him as a Hall of Fame player, even if he already is. Before we get into the MVP award, let's go over the Coach of the Year. Now this award goes to either the best team in the league, or conference, or even a team that has overachieved based off expectations prior to the season starting. My candidates for this award are Ty Lue, Michael Malone, and Willie Green. This is another award that is really hard to choose because it's hard to predict how good a team may be because it always fluctuates because of injuries. If I had to choose though, and I may be biased, but I think Michael Malone could win it all for the Nuggets. The Nuggets finally have a healthy roster, so they have the potential to win a lot of games. Personally, they could reach around that 55-60 win mark. Also, if they do that, I think they would be exceeding most people's expectations. Michael Malone would definitely get a checkmark off the best team in the West, plus exceeding expectations, so I feel like that would give him the nod for this award over coaches like Tyronn Lue, which I think he could lead the Clippers to one of the best records in the West as well. But in terms of expectations, I feel like people are expecting that out of the Clippers. And on the flip side for Willie Green, the Pelicans may not have the best record in the West, but they most certainly could surprise some people and maybe get to that 4th or 5th seed. I may be a homer for picking the Nuggets because I am a Nuggets fan, but even with me trying to be fair, I still think Michael Malone edges out both of these guys. Now for the last award, we got the MVP award, the most coveted award in the NBA, but man, it's really hard to choose a winner because this season in particular, I feel like there's going to be a lot of politics into who the winner actually is. My top 3 candidates for MVP are Giannis, Luka, and Embiid. I don't need to really get into why I think these guys will be in the conversation. I think that's pretty obvious, but when it comes to why I think Embiid is going to win it all, it's because I think he will continue to play at this MVP level that he has been for the last 2 years, and that the media is going to feel kind of bad for him not winning it yet. I know it's kind of a cop-out for me to say this, but honestly, it seems like the most realistic option. There's no way Jokic is going to win 3 MVPs in a row. LeBron and the Lakers aren't going to win enough games for him to be considered as an MVP. And Giannis hasn't won in a while, but I still think the media will respect Joel a little bit more than Giannis because that's kind of what they've shown me so far. And I keep bringing up the media, and this is such an important point to make because they are the ones who vote for this award. Luka Doncic is really the only guy I could see winning it over Embiid because he will put up the stats, but I'm not too sure how good the Mavs will be next season. Losing Jalen Brunson really sucks, and I feel like adding Christian Wood was fine, but defensively they definitely took a step back and in general haven't really improved much, while other teams around them have gotten a lot better. If Luka could carry the Mavs and get them to around that 4th seed, maybe even the 5th seed, I think he could win it, but I doubt it. Joel and the 76ers are going to win a lot of games. They'll be around the 2nd seed in the East, and Joel is going to be dominant just like he has been for the past 2 years. Well, those are my predictions for the NBA awards going into next season. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed someone in this conversation. Let me know if you think it's someone else that's going to win an award. All my links are in the Linktree link below in the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and check out this video where I discuss the X factors of teams in the Western Conference. See y'all in the next one.